All right, we're going to talk about the F word that no real estate brokerage wants to talk about: fees. Do you know what your fees are getting you? I'm Zack Lazo. I'm the designated broker and part owner of Caliber Real Estate, and we're going to talk about where your money is going. Let's be real about this. As a real estate agent, you're truly a business owner. So, as a business owner, it's really important to understand the return on investment on the fees that you're paying out. I would even like to make the claim that successful business owners understand and can quantify every single fee that's going out of their pocket as an expense and really know how to maximize that. So there's different types of fees, of course. There's going to be your royalty fees that never go away. Ouch. There's going to be your personal splits, whether it be high or low, depending on your firm. Desk fees, transaction fees, caps, etc. And these are all different types of fees. But in order to really analyze them and understand, it's important to look at them from a return on investment perspective. So all this to say is this is really illustrating the point of to really look in and analyze what you're spending and what that is actually returning to you as far as your return on investment. So I think the best way to illustrate this is to go through an exercise that I think will be really helpful to really visualize this idea. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink myself down here. We'll pull up a little chart here. So let me set this up. So at the end of the day, your transactions are going to come from three different areas, right? The three B's. It's either going to come from you, the broker, your own efforts, the people that you already know. It's going to come from your brokerage. Maybe these are trainings and classes that they're putting on, maybe some processes, systems, maybe some of the technology that they use. And then it's going to come from brand, right? The very name of your brokerage. So let's analyze those three different B's and really put our transactions into three different categories. Now, when you're analyzing your transactions, let's look at your last year. And we'll do this for illustration's sake, but we're going to take an example. Let's take Sally, for instance, over here. Sally is somebody that I've known since college, right? Sally's been following me on Facebook. I like her, and comment on our family. Wow, that's awesome. Awesome vacation. Well, eventually Sally reaches out to me and says, hey, I want to buy a house. I help Sally buy a house. We close on that transaction. So I have to pick a column on where this is going to go. And in this case, I'm saying, you know what? Because I know Sally already, it's going to go in that broker category, right? Easy choice. Now let's go option number 2, Joe. Now, our brokerage has put on a class about how to identify and how to analyze an investment deal. Awesome. They've also put on how to put on an Investor 101 training. I follow that training. I put on and meet a group of people. Joe is one of the people that sticks out, and I have a chat with him. He wants to buy a rental. I land him a rental, close that transaction. Now I have to identify which column do I want to put this in. And I would say, you know what? I probably wouldn't have come across Joe's name had I not learned that from my brokerage. Therefore, Joe is going to go into the office in that brokerage column because I learned that skill from the brokerage. Now, Jane actually happens to live in my neighborhood, right? I walked my dog by her house. We've waved. I've never had a conversation with her. But, if I was knocking on her door, she's not going to freak out and call 911, right? But my brokerage taught a class on geo farming. Every single real estate related activity, I'm out there, I'm putting it on Facebook, and it's going right back to my farm area. 6 months later, Jane now suddenly sees me in the light that I want her to see me in, and that's a real estate professional, right? And so Jane, finally, when I'm walking my dog along like I always do, she says, hey, I've seen your videos. I want to sell my house. Would you sell it for me? Now, what I would say is, you know what? If I'm picking that column, hey, it's my neighborhood. I've talked to Jane. I've put in the time, but my brokerage did teach me that skill. That's going to be a tough one, but ultimately, you know what? I'll put that in my effort because, it wouldn't happen had I not lived in the neighborhood. But that really could have gone either way, right? So these are the first transactions of the year. Let's call this Q1. Now, let's just assume that for the rest of the year, the rest of those 3 quarters, it goes right about the same, right? So in this exercise, you're going to do this for your entire year. Well, in this particular example, gross commissions of $188,000, right? And so we really want to analyze our results here. And I think the easiest way to do this is by looking at this chart here. So we're looking at the sources of where our deals came from. There's really only 2 sources in this particular example. 75% came from my own efforts as a broker, the efforts that I put in. 25% of my income came from the brokerage. And unfortunately, in this particular case, 0 came from the brand. So if this is me and this is the outcomes that I'm seeing, I'm saying, well, geez, if I'm paying royalty fees or if I'm paying a ton to the brokerage because of the name, this is a scenario where it's giving you some results, it's giving you some assessments to make, and I'm saying, well, maybe I'm paying a little bit too much if I'm paying a lot because of the brand. Now, that may not be your case. You may have a ton of money that came in the door because of your brand. And if you do, hey, awesome. High five your managing broker because you're in a great place. The very idea of this altogether, though, is just to really understand what your return on investment is. Now, keep in mind, I'm a real estate brokerage owner. Fees are a taboo subject for me too, because we are certainly not the cheapest firm in town. But what I am comfortable with and what we're comfortable teaching our agents is to think in terms of return on investment. So I'm hoping that this exercise has been really helpful for you. I hope it's been eye-opening, and I hope it's not a negative for you. And if it is, hey, reach out and we can help walk you through some stuff. But if anything else, if you like it, please share below, comment, that would be awesome. And if you have further questions about it, give me a call. You can give me an email. Otherwise, comment below and I can reach out.